Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of She-Hulk. So this is episode 5, which means we only have one episode left. This episode was, it definitely wasn't the best episode, but it was just an odd episode in my opinion. So we have Titania suing She-Hulk, which is what we knew at the end of the last episode. But I think the big difference here is the fact that we have Jennifer attempting to defend herself. So what we find out is Titania, she decides to make a whole plethora of skincare products and everything else with the name She-Hulk. Because, let's think about it, she's deciding to capitalize on this. So she gets sued and everything else, and then they decide to go up to Titania and basically tell her that she has to cease and desist, mostly due to the fact that she does not own the name She-Hulk. And in actuality, she does. So the court, her boss, is not happy because he's trying to understand how is it that she doesn't have control over her own name, and as a lawyer, it's not good that she can't even handle her own personal business. So she's being told that she's not allowed to handle her own situation, and they give her one of their lawyers. And apparently she's one of the best in the agency, or the firm, I should say. We are talking about lawyers. And while this is going on, her best friend is trying to get her to get new clothes. So they talk to this guy to get an appointment. And apparently he does all the super beings costumes. So anyway, they continue on and everything else. And as this goes on, we have them go to court the first time, and it turns out that they are at least hearing the motion that there's the potential that She-Hulk was established, and Titania is trying to coast on the coattails of it, even though Jennifer never officially owned the name. It turns out that she was using it and made it famous before Titania decides to use it. So the court claims that if they find evidence to prove that Jennifer Walters was using the pseudonym She-Hulk in her personal life, then they will grant the motion. So before this happens, to prove it, they were doing news clips about, She-Hulk doesn't want to be called She-Hulk, and then there was another one on the news station that, it's basically stating that, she's stuck with the name, and some guy gave it to her, and she's never going to be able to not be She-Hulk. So that being said, we move forward. She gets sized and everything else for it, and he's reluctant at first, and turns out he finds out that she's the cousin of the Hulk, and he agrees to make something for her. Make a suit and another suit that we will probably see next episode, because we definitely didn't see it this episode. But anyway, let's continue. So Jennifer Walters realizes that she finds out that the only way to convince people that she is using the name She-Hulk is the fact that she has to bring up all her old dates from when she had the app used under She-Hulk. So all these guys basically talk about how not great she was, but that she was She-Hulk, and it was very, very degrading for her, let's be honest. And so, anyway, it turns out she wins the case, and Titania has to close up, not fork up any money, but she has to foreclose on her business, basically, and stop everything at where it is now, because she is not owning the name She-Hulk anymore, which is a nice, excellent little thing. She Jennifer takes her lawyer out for a drink, and they're talking about how it was ridiculous that she had to basically degrade herself on the stand with all these dates who basically just degraded her to prove the fact that she is She-Hulk, which is just awful. And, that doesn't go too well. She embarrasses herself with this, and then the woman leaves, and later on in the episode, which is the very end of the episode, she goes to see this guy, and this guy is bizarre. All right, he gives me Edna Mode vibes like you wouldn't believe. But anyway, he's making a suit and everything else, so he gives her her suit, and she likes it, and then he gives her a special surprise, and she's like, well, what am I? He's like, you're going to need it when you need it, okay? Just be thankful you have it. And while he's walking away, we actually see a red and yellow suit in the shape of a devil, which means, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have Daredevil be in the MCU. Now, for those of you who don't know, he's already been in it, but it seems like we're getting the first glimpse of his costume, and it is going to be red and yellow, just like his original costume in the comics. So, with this rebirth, are we going to see a homage to the original Daredevil costume? It seems so. But that being said, we'll have to wait and see on more of that. But that's how the episode ends. It was kind of anticlimactic. I'm assuming she's going to be facing Titania at some point, along with the rest of the Wrecking Crew. But to be honest with you, I have no idea what's going to be happening, because it was unclear at the end of this episode exactly what's going to happen. All we know is that there's Daredevil in the area. He's got his suit ready to go whenever he's going to pick it up. We have She-Hulk, who is fully ready to fight in a new suit that we haven't seen, and also a boardroom suit ready to fight anybody in the courtroom as well. But that being said, we know very little about what's going to happen after this. So, I mean, the season finale, and I think series finale, is going to be next week. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have no idea. I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of big fight, but, like, it could be with anybody. And I'm not quite sure if it's going to be, like, a legal fight, or if it's going to be an actual, like, fist fight, or a combination of the two. I don't know. But it's very unclear where it's going. But definitely looking forward to seeing where it goes, because, I mean, this is definitely one of the more unique shows, in my opinion. And I think it's done really well so far. And, I mean, but it's also so different from all the others, so it's hard to compare and contrast these shows. But that being said, this one I just like overall. Now, let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know. That being said, as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than this is going to be Beastly Eels signing out. Have a great night.